All right, welcome everyone to this week's edition of Southern Woods and Waters. We hope you're having a great week out there, living through Memorial Day, and we have a great show for you today. I have two locals that you've seen them both on the show separately, but together they're dynamite. And I tell you what, these are the brains and the brawn of Hook One and All Pro Rods too. I might as well say it too. Let's broaden out and introduce. We have Joe Hobbenrich with us. Joe, good to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And Joe is the general manager for Hook One. So Joe, congratulations on that.
Yep. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Fortunately, since I spend so many hours there.
And we got Chad Hoover. Chad, also All Pro. You're co-owner of All Pro Rod.
Yes, sir.
Co-owner of Hook One.
Yes, sir.
And you're the character behind Kayak Bass Fishing.
Kayak Bass and TV and Not Right Kayak Fishing, and coming to Carbon TV soon. It'll be That's Not Right, which you're going to be a part of.
That's right. We're going to be a little, because everybody knows I'm not right.
We're going to call it Redneck Reality for the more accurate description.
I love it. But guys, I tell you what, it's been a while since you've been on the show, but Chad, you got a lot of things going on. You've been doing a lot of filming here lately and been out on some pretty good fishing trips, because I've been keeping up with you on Facebook.
Yes, sir. And we ain't put it all out there because, you guys brought me on as the field correspondent.
Yeah, what the far have you been doing for the last 6 months?
So here's what I've been doing. We've been red fishing in Louisiana. We've been hog hunting in Alabama, hog hunting for hogs, and hog hunting for the big old bucket mouse. And we've got a little bit of both. We've gathered footage for snapper fishing off the Gulf Coast of Florida. We've snapper fishing off the Gulf Coast of Mississippi and Alabama. We've got some really exciting turkey action for you. Pretty much anything you can do in the southern woods and waters. We've gone out over the last 6 months since you brought me on as a field correspondent and said, go get me some video.
Get me some video.
So it was a cold winter, so that kind of slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah,
we had to compress everything down and really bang out a whole bunch of footage, a whole bunch of adventures, a whole bunch of fishing, hunting, off-roading, and just good old rednecking. And we're turned it over to your editor.
That's right.
We're going to start cranking out the videos. We got a bunch of them ready to go up on YouTube, and then we've got some special excerpts that we've held back that we're only going to show here on Southern Woods and Waters. So
that's awesome.
Kind of some behind the scenes, if you will.
What he hadn't understood is because I made him field correspondent, he's supposed to take me with him every now and then.
I didn't see that in the fine print.
You got that memo, didn't you, Joe?
I didn't see that.
Chad and I have known each other for 8 years. I mentioned to him this week, I said, it's about time we go fishing. We have never fished together. 8 years.
8 years. 8 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got to wait 7.5 more.
We work together, so really we're both indispensables. There's no way we can both be gone at the same time. Yeah. So we're just going to draw a line in the sand and say this is going to be Joe and Chad fishing day. And we're just going to turn it over to the minions and go for it.
Well, I got to say, guys, y'all have really put what I want to say exclamation mark on fishing in Middle Tennessee, because you're selling kayaks. Awesome kayaks too. The Wilderness kayak is one of my faves. I just love it. The ease, and it's fat boy friendly. so it makes me feel safe to be in it. But oh my gosh, it's just about every truck that goes down on Fridays and Saturdays that goes down Gallatin Road has got a kayak in the back of it. And they're not carrying the $50,000 to $75,000 bass boats. They're carrying kayaks with paddles.
And catching more fish.
And catching a lot of fish. That's right.
In places you can't, and places others can't catch them. So that's the great thing about it.
That's right. But it's awesome. I mean, that is it has to be, and that's the reason we're talking tonight, is that's one of the fastest growing sports going on right now is kayak fishing. You've got your own tournament trails. You just had a major tournament.
Yeah, we had a big tournament in Sandy Cooper, South Carolina. We had actually we had a guy from here, from Mount Juliet, Ron Champion, one of the All-Pro staffers, drove all the way over there and caught the biggest bass and showed guys from all over the South how to do it. Caught one that went 11.6 on tournament day. Won a replica of it from a taxidermist out of Georgia, a guy named Andy Thompson. Just got it in the mail the other day. It's a beautiful mount. And so there's nothing like going somewhere, fishing for the first time, patterning the fish, and catching the biggest bass you've ever caught in your life.
2 states over.
2 states over, getting a replica from it and going for a sleigh ride. And here's the best thing about it. is there was an FLW Everstart tournament going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And there was about 6 boats for a grand total of about $255,000 worth of fiberglass and aluminum that watched him catch it, and he was up in a slough where they couldn't get to. So that's the great thing about the sport. Now it is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Just since I've moved to Tennessee after retiring from the Navy, I've already paddled into a few coves where I was all excited and kind of snuck into my spot and paddled there and rounded the corner, and there was somebody in a kayak that was already there. So just means you're going to work harder and drive a little further to get to that virgin water. But man, I get all over Alabama, all over Kentucky. I could fish the rest of my life and never touch everything in Tennessee.
Oh no!
You know, picked up one of those sportsman's guides and thought I had really scratched the surface, and then realized I ain't even scratched the surface of the corner of the surface. I haven't even touched anything.
No.
And everywhere you look, there's a tiny little stream, a tiny little creek. You know, we fished some places a couple weeks ago with the guys from TN Moving Waters, who you've had on the show, Nick and JG, and we caught some big smallmouth. But we saw some big smallmouth that made those big smallmouth that would make them nervous. I mean, we saw some true gorillas. And so the water was super clear. We're going to plan a mission where we go back in there and fish for those fish at night, you know, where the advantage is kind of in the anglers arena. Then they can't see you as well. You can't see them as well, but we know where they're at. We know where the pools and the pockets are. And we're going to go back in there and whoop up on those big old smallmouth in that shallow river in a place you can't get into any other way. You can't wade it. You can't boat it, you can't walk down it, you can't fish from the bank. The only way you can fish this river is from a kayak.
That's right.
And or a canoe if you're adventurous, but there's some tight turns in there to be real hard to make in a canoe.
I'm telling you. But now, Joe, you ready to go fishing then?
I'm always ready to go. Always. Fortunately, we get enough people come into the shop that we help get them equipped and ready to go with all sorts of gear for their kayak, but fishing gear too. And
you enjoy that.
I do.
You enjoy rigging somebody new. We call them newbies, but
well, the shop runs 9 to 5 officially, but our last customer left at 7 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
So we have people coming in, staying around. They just like to hang out there and.
We're going to start selling campsites.
That's a good idea.
Putting some cots in.
That's Hugh's share over there. You can't touch that.
Yes, sir.
But you know, it's awesome. You've got a full line of kayaks, and we're talking about kayaks from what? What's the smallest one you got? Like
we got some small kayaks that start at about 8 feet. That start at 199, 200 bucks, and go on up to these new pedal-driven kayaks that we've got from a company called Native Watercraft that top out at $23.99. And I'll tell you, you know, it's a sponsorship conflict for me to say so, but it's one of the coolest kayaks I've ever been in. And I'll just say it, you know.
Well, I sent one of my buddies up there. He bought one.
It's nice, man. It's a rocket ship. It's almost too much power in the hand of a simple mind, I think, you know, for some of the fellows that I'm friends with and some folks like myself.
Some of the people we run
too
with.
Much power.
Too much power. That's bad. That's bad, brother. You know, we got friends cutting the show off right now.
My truck's getting keyed out in the parking lot right now.
But I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead first and let's take a break, visit some of our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk to them more about this hot new sport called kayak fishing. Hurry back to more of Southern Woods and Waters.